Welcome to Sinister Heroes. I'm your host, Danny Iniquitous. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, there's a channel about Dungeons & Dragons where we're trying to bring out a darker tone with everything we do here. So if you like edgier kind of content, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And a big thank you to our good friends at Critical Failures, where we're part of a stream game over there every Wednesday night. Check us out. We're doing Icewind Dale. It's a lot of fun. With all that out of the way, we're going to jump into this week's video. We're talking about the Kalashtar. Eberron is a wild place. There's a very unique kind of whole world and culture over in that part of the world. It's crazy. It's exciting. There's such a fusion between magic and like inanimate objects and just like the way they make the world work. It's kind of steampunky. It's crazy. It's got an awesome history to it. And it does have this species called the Kalashtar. Now they're kind of the result of a union between humans and Quori. Quori, Quori, I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, are spirits from the realm of the plane of dreams. So the plane of dreams is a whole thing in and above itself. But these spirits have their own conflicts and their own issues, and these conflicts and problems kind of haunt the Kalashtar. Like they're forced to draw in these kind of memories and are tethered to kind of those conflicts and issues with the other worlds. Now, I like to work with nightmares. I think that's exciting, and I think that makes a very intricate Kalashtar. I think you can do a lot of really cool stuff with that. And they are very, very unique in that kind of where they're so human and yet alien at the same time. It's like if humans evolved on a different planet and then came here. That's kind of what a Kalashtar kind of feels like. But they're very interesting. They're, normal size. They're humans. They don't have dark vision. They are average speed. They do have a couple of cool and interesting abilities, though. Kalashtar have an ability called Dual Mind. You have advantage on all wisdom saving throws. Now, this is a big one. Anything that causes your character to lose control of their character, be stunned, be confused, or like unable to take certain actions, they're all wisdom saves. It's a save you'll make a lot. Having advantage on that is really, really great. It's one of the better saves to have proficiency in. And if you do pick a class that has proficiency on wisdom saving throws, now having advantage is going to pretty much knock that out of the park. You're going to be pretty solid on those saving throws. You do also have mental discipline. You have resistance to psychic damage. This is very niche. There's only a handful of creatures that do psychic damage. If you're going to fight illithids, oh, absolutely, this is something you want. But psionics really aren't super prevalent. There isn't a lot of psionic usage from enemies in combats you'll see normally. So you won't really get a lot of mileage out of this. But it is worthy to note that if you do pick a barbarian and go a totem barbarian, you will have resistance to every single damage type in the game. When you rage. So it's there, it's out there, but is it super useful? Not really. But a free damage resistance is eventually you might have some use for it, or you might go an entire campaign and never use it. You gain an ability called Mind Link. You can speak telepathically to any creature you can see, provided the creature is within a number of feet of you equal to 10 times your level. You don't need to share a language with that creature for it to understand your telepathic utterances, but the creature must be able to understand at least one language. When you're using this trait to speak telepathically to a creature, you can use your action to give that creature the ability to speak telepathically with you for 1 hour or until you end this effect as an action. To use this ability, the creature must be able to see you and must be within the trait's range. You can give this ability to only one creature at a time. Giving it to a creature takes it away from another creature who has it. There's a bunch of species now or races that have some sort of telepathical ability. Very few of them have the ability to have them communicate back to you. This does set up a lot of cool things. It kind of makes you feel, it gives me great old one kind of vibes, or Whispers Bard. It gives you this very, very cool kind of temptation to be evil and manipulative. It's an enticing one, and it can be very, very fun to deal with and to explore how this works out. That range is interesting. So as you level up, it gets really kind of ridiculous. I mean, if you make it to level 20, you have 200 feet that you can communicate with someone as long as they can see you in that distance, which is pretty interesting. But it can be very useful. Again, you can speak regularly. You don't need to use this, but you can use this for if, say, you're an untrustworthy party member and you want to do dark, suspicious things while other party members don't know you're doing them. You can absolutely use this. If you're a DM and you have some of these in your game, they can be very, very cool to use against your party, or at least to kind of manipulate them to do certain things or play them against like what they're doing. It can be fun. Their final ability is Severed from Dreams. Kalashtar sleep, but they don't connect to the plane of dreams as other creatures do. Instead, their minds draw from the memories of their otherworldly spirit while they sleep. As such, you are immune to magical effects and effects that require you to dream, like the dream spell, but not to spells and effects that put you to sleep, like the sleep spell. It's interesting because the only time it really comes into play is if you're actually using the dream spell. Outside of that, unless your DM had something, or if you were a DM and you wanted to communicate, you are pulling from the otherworldly spirit, so you can have that spirit do things that would influence the current day. But again, it's memories. It's not things that are like fantastical and sending messages back and forth. It doesn't work that way. You're kind of just reliving those kinds of moments that the other spirit had. One of the last things I really want to talk about before I finish the video for the Kalashtar is the Dreaming Dark, which is an organization of kind of like evil Kalashtar, where Kalastars are born of spirits and humans binding together. The Dreaming Dark are a sequence of quarry spirits that possess human ones and are trying to kill the Kalashtar, and are trying to prevent them from continuing to breed and grow because it destroys the quarry. And their kind of whole existence is kind of dependent on surviving, not melding into another species. They're evil. They wholly exist to destroy the Kalashtar. There's a lot of stuff behind it. It's a great story. If you have a natural enemy that exists, so if you're a DM and you do have a player that's playing a Kalashtar, throw a inspired and the member of the Dreaming Dark in there. It's awesome. The name is cool. Definitely throw it in there to be an adversary for your party. That can be a lot of fun. That being said, we're going to bring this video to a close. If you made it this far, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, the link is in the description, as well as the link to our good friends at Critical Failures, where we are part of an awesome stream game. We're doing Icewind Dale. Check us out every Wednesday about 9:30 Eastern Time. And thank you for giving a spooky kid a chance.